First Quantum reported results today. It's trading up despite a bigger loss than expected in the first quarter. And in fact, so far in 2024, it is the third best performing stock so far this year. That will face a major test to these gains in just over a week with Panama's election on May 5th. You'll recall back in November, First Quantum effectively halted operations at its Cobre Panama mine amidst weeks of protests and the government saying its contract to mine was unconstitutional. It's against this chaotic backdrop that our next guest upgraded the stock back in March, and that proved to be a pretty good trade. It's up 22% since then. He sees a little bit more upside from here. Let's bring in Sam Crittenden. He's research analyst at RBC covering these names. So First Quantum, there's so much going on with this name, right? They've got all these different assets. You've got rising copper prices. You've got their mines in Zambia. So maybe we'll just take the results. What picture of health did it paint to you, this snapshot, this quarterly snapshot of the business, Sam?
Yeah, so there was a couple things that came out of the quarter. First and foremost, the Zambian operations, which obviously at the moment are the core focus and core operations for this company, are performed well in the quarter. And this, performed well in the quarter. And I think that was a key takeaway for me, that the existing operations had a good quarter. The financial results were a little weaker, as you mentioned, but I think that was, as the company noted, a carryover from some of the closure costs they had in Panama from Q4 rolling into Q1 that impacted the financial results. But there's a good sign that improves going forward. And so that checked a lot of boxes. There's also been a lot of headlines about some power restraints in Zambia, and that the company has taken some steps to alleviate that. They're importing some power from other countries. And so that gave people comfort on some of the key issues that people were watching going into the Q1 results.
Did you get any color on that potential minority stake for those Zambian assets that would bring in some cash?
Yeah, it's a good question. So they've acknowledged that they are running a process to look at potential buyers for the Zambian business. We carry those assets combined for $8 billion US. And so if they were to sell 20 or 30% of that business, obviously that could bring in a substantial amount of money, anywhere between $2 and $2.5 billion. And so that could provide some more balance sheet flexibility. It could give them some optionality in how they proceed in Panama. And so that's something they're looking at. At the same time, given the financings they did earlier this year, they raised over $3 billion in debt and equity. That gives them some comfort. They don't need to do anything in Zambia, but if they get a good price, it's certainly something they could look to do.
That's interesting that they're at a point that they don't need to do it. And I imagine that the rally in copper is also extremely helpful, right? Like if we were talking about a rout in copper prices, this might be a totally different story for First Quantum.
Absolutely. It's helping all of these companies, and First Quantum in particular can generate some positive free cash flow at these prices. So it definitely helps alleviate a lot of the balance sheet issues. It helps them stay on side with their debt covenants and everything else.
How do you think about the election coming up in May? In reading the candidates, I don't think that there's a clear, front runner for First Quantum. Maybe there is. You tell me, is this going to be a needle mover for the stock depending on who wins?
It could be, but I think if you look at the candidates that are at the front of the polls right now, most of them are relatively business friendly. Now, leading up to the election, most candidates have been careful in what they say and have been as dismissive as possible about the mine. It's closed right now, and most are just saying, the people have spoken, it's going to stay closed. And so I don't think necessarily the election itself is going to matter, but if one or two of the top candidates that's in the lead in the polls now wins, that could be a good outcome for First Quantum. And hopefully over time, they can work with that new government to potentially sway public opinion and work towards an eventual restart. But, I think the election itself is the first step in that direction. And then there's still a lot of work to be done to improve sentiment towards mining in that country.
If you want uncomplicated exposure to copper, you could go to a Teck Resources, a Hudbay, a Capstone, all of which that you have a buy on. And I'm curious the conversations you're having with investors about First Quantum. Is it, maybe a riskier type of investor who's willing to take that exposure because, maybe the upside is so tremendous given how much the stock has been cut over the last year?
Yeah, it is more of a special situation. There's no question about that. The Panama angle is a complicating factor for sure. And so you're right that investors that want, a more simpler story with exposure to copper, some of those other names would be good options. This one, though, probably has the most risk reward because if something positive were to happen in Panama, there's probably more upside in First Quantum. And so it's one where we see that as was one of the reasons for our upgrade, the potential to recover value in Panama. It's probably pricing in about a third of the full potential value. So that is the opportunity, but there's still certainly risks as they work through the situation there.
How do you think about the likelihood of a takeover of First Quantum in general? I know that's been rumored here and there, although I guess it's unclear that a new owner fixes the issues in Panama.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think in the short term, it's unlikely. I think the company wants to work with whoever the new government is and attempt to do this on their own. If this drags on, later this year and into 2025 and there's no resolution in sight, they could look to, look at partners for the asset, potentially sell that particular asset and keep Zambia or look at a sale of the whole company. But I think in the here and now, the company is just laser focused on seeing the election through and then working with the new government to try to get to some resolution to the situation.